Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, and we are back with part 9 of our Halo 5 Guardians Legendary playthrough with Mission Battle of Sunaion. One of my favorites in the entire campaign, and the last on the planet Sanghelios. So we're going to get started pretty fast and pretty quick here. This is probably pound for pound the hardest mission in the game, but in my opinion it's probably the highest quality, at least up into a certain point. But we're going to start out here fighting with the Swords of Sanghelios against just a handful of grunts and jackals here. Just a little warm-up, a teaser, an aperitif, if you will. I throw a grenade at geometry, which I've become famous for in these Sanghelios missions, if you watched any of them thus far. Boy, they took that thing out fast. So a lot of what we're going to be doing, at least in the first third or half, is taking out these anti-air emplacements. Kind of a classic Halo theme. That's right. The Covenant will fall today at our hands, at our collective hands. This uneasy alliance. So right off the bat, there's some grunts that'll be right at this door. They're kind of in a different position than what I'd seen. Usually they're just standing right there in front of the door, but in this case they were kind of arrayed more center and to the right, so just an odd little, very unusual placement for them there. So I like to stay back at range and shoot these guys because there's one grunt over there that has a fuel rod. I think I may have killed him, but I'm going to start taking out these non-shield little storm jackals. At least that's what I've been calling them. They like to jump up and around and stuff and shoot at you every once in a while, but they're not that big of a threat unless you let them become that. Seems like for this playthrough, at least starting out, I moved a little bit slower than I was moving for some of the other levels and for some of my failed runs on Sunaion. Just kind of starting out somewhat slow, but trust me, we speed it up. We get to moving pretty fast and pretty loose. I think I just waited here for them to all kind of show their faces. But at some point, I like to try to hand that fuel rod off. Not that your allies are awesome with it or anything, but I had better than them having their secondary weapon, I guess. There's two elites that have been standing here that I've been avoiding killing. Just taking out the minor enemies before taking on the major guys, because they're just not really a threat until you start attacking them. And so I think it's better in that case to take out those minor guys. Take out the turret guy way over there. That's actually a really, really good move. I forgot I did that. Come over here, and there'll be some grunts hanging out in here. I like to go ahead and grab the carbine here since our BR is pretty much done. Stick that guy in revenge for, well, me missing the stick on the grunts at the start, which I didn't do typically whenever I was playing through this. I have no idea why they weren't ready to attack a little bit faster there, but we take advantage of their inattentiveness. So there should be a handful of storm jackals left up here, and it looks like we have one to the left. Let's just go ahead and smack his ass off of there and then move out of the way, because there are potentially other turret guys there, but I think killing the 3 elites got rid of the turret threats. So let's just ground pound our way down here. If we had seen an enemy, we would have attempted to smash him. And it looks like we are good to go. We took everyone out. So let's go through this little area here and then quickly run over to here. That way you can backsmack this elite as he's coming off the drop pod. Be sure and turn around very fast and take out these 2 storm jackals that come in. The headshot bullet mag for the carbine and BR is not what you might remember it being if you haven't played Halo 5 in a while, or if you've been playing a lot of Halo 4 or Halo 3. So, yeah, the only good news I can tell you is that there's a ton of ammunition for it, so feel free to spam it.
Move up. Going now. Pick up that weapon. Copy that, Lock.
Proceed to start sniping these guys. For some ridiculously stupid reason, they are not one-shot kills, even though I am. I like to go ahead and take out that turret because usually it scrambles the elite and some of the guys if they're hiding a little too much. Plus, it takes care of something you're going to have to do anyway. Now we're starting to get some decent headshots there. So go ahead and detach these 2 plasma cannons. I'll let you go ahead and take out that energy box too, but that's not necessary. Oh, apparently I did not take out the anti-air turret there. I thought I did. I did do that sometimes to go ahead and get the ball rolling, but ultimately once you do it, you get this group. And this group includes a handful of inconsequential, well, relatively inconsequential grunts, but most importantly, a sniper jackal, a marksman jackal, and an elite with a fuel rod who will be coming through that door shortly. So we come over here and grab some cover, and I'm going to use the beam rifle to take out the elite. Usually he's right around that area, and it looks like he moved very, very fast. I guess he was reading my inputs, knew that I had a sniper or a beam rifle there, and moved away. But he doesn't always do that. I'm a little surprised he scampered as fast as he did. He couldn't have seen what I had there and that I was sighting down on him. But again, usually he takes a stand there and will fire at you, but apparently he is not at this juncture. I have no idea where he's at, and since it's a one-hit down, and of course if he downs me, he can just waylay the rest of my team with his fuel rod or melee attacks. So we finally draw him out after pulling out a different weapon. Almost 100% sure that that was the key, is pulling out a different weapon. As this game, as the Halo franchise has gone forward, they have been less and less ashamed of just blatantly demonstrating how much the enemy AI just reads your inputs, especially on Legendary difficulty. Which is sad. It's not always been like that. So hand off fuel rod. I guess back there I think someone dropped a fuel rod as I was trying to hand someone else a weapon. So now we have 2 people with fuel rods. Again, not that that's going to be some massive advantage. But what you want to do here is touch that infinite ammo box and run in here as fast as you can. Run up these stairs here. Try not to bump that useless piece of geometry. And then come over here and take these guys out. It's just so sad. I tell you, man. It's. I guess I should get a mouse and keyboard attachment to my Xbox. I don't know. Again, not really a big deal because you have infinite ammunition, but it's just embarrassing, and I'm not sure if I should be embarrassed or if they should be embarrassed, because it ain't been like that in previous Halos. The only one I can think of that you might find yourself in that situation might be Reach, but the damage that you were doing with the bullets would eventually kill the grunt before you finally got frustrated all to shit. So we're just taking out these grunts. We need to take out a certain amount of enemies, and then once we do that, then we can destroy the anti-air emplacements, and we'll have the Swords of St. Helios come in. They'll mop up the rest of the enemies, and we can move forward into Sunaion's Undercity. So notice the relative safety we have up here. We don't have much of anything coming from the back, but eventually you do get some enemies that will try to come from the back, so you want to make sure and watch out for that. And no, that is not a double entendre. They literally do come from the back, just like that. So because I didn't have my plasma pistol ready, I decided to try to circle around, and that elite, I'm not sure what happened to him, if he fell off or whatever, but he certainly was not going to allow us to flank him at all costs, including the cost of having fun or feeling like strategies work in this game. So we'll just wait till he comes back up, which he eventually will. But at this juncture, yeah, just taking my time, clipping unsuspecting enemies that are brave enough to get on turrets and be stationary while doing so. Here comes that guy, and we just overcharge him, and before we can melee him, our teammates take him out. You can probably do this a bit faster if you, I don't know, speed run and practice this kind of stuff a lot. There's probably faster ways to complete this part, but you do have to kill a certain amount of enemies before the reinforcements, the Swords of St. Helios reinforcements show up, and you can go on the elevator that's over there. Look at that stick. How's that work out? And I don't even know. It's weird because I shot the grunt, and I didn't see the grenade fully explode there or something. Maybe I just missed it. Hopefully I didn't negate the grenade somehow by shooting that. No, that's stupid. Surely that's not a gameplay thing. So there's 2 sword elites over here. Just stick one of them, and then overcharge this guy and shoot him in the brain. Come over here and knock out this turret, this anti-air thing. You got 2 more to go, as Locke just said. And now, because we've pretty much cleared out most of the threats, let's just overcharge this thing and see if we can get a headshot on the grunt. Usually hard to headshot grunts that are in that thing, but because we're in an elevated position, thank you bullet mag, or lack thereof, because we're in an elevated position there, we can headshot him fairly easily. So all we have is the one autocannon left. We've still got too many enemies, though. I'm not sure how many it has to be that's left, but I don't know. It can be a lot, but it's not like 20 or 10, but it's not just 2 or 1 left either. There can be a handful of grunts left over. I'm not sure what the rule is. If you know it, then please put it in the comments section for my viewers. And for me, too, I guess. So that destroyed, I guess, the shield surrounding this area. These grunts, I'm pretty sure, stay harmless for like a long time. They were in here worshiping and chanting. It's kind of a cool little thing here, but yeah, they stay harmless for a long time. But I like to take them all out just for fun. Again, probably wasting a little bit of time here, but yeah, what does that matter? I'm having fun. So this turret has yet again been commandeered, and for some reason Tanaka decided to stand right there in its line of fire. But it is about time to get rid of this anti-air turret. Not really sure why I took my sweet-ass time doing it. Because if you do it early, then you just get a message, I think, from the character you're playing. I think Locke makes some comment about how there needs to be, you know, the ground needs to be clear, it needs to be safer or something or another before Maki will arrive. So we're going to run over here, and this is up to you. You can do what you want here. I like to grab the plasma caster, which I'm going to devastate with in this playthrough of Battle of Sunaion, and I like to grab this beam rifle. And then come right down to this elevator, and then as soon as that lights up, hit the button, grab grenades if they're scattered about and you need them. Doesn't matter, you don't have to wait for your teammates or anything like that. As soon as you get the chance, press the button and off you'll go. Now there's plenty of carbine very early on in where we're going, so if you feel really safe with that gun in your hands, don't worry, you'll get it back shortly. But again, if you don't want to snipe anything with the beam rifle, if you're not comfortable with the plasma caster, feel free to bring whatever the hell weapons you want. But these are the 2 I'm going with because, you know, they're fun to use, and I think the beam rifle can be very devastating in this part if you know where to set up. So I'll show you where that is, of course. So we've got a long, well, not that long, but kind of a little bit of a walk here, which we will sprint, of course. Jump up here, clamber there, jump over here, and then see how many of these guys you can snipe before they start to put pressure on you. For some ridiculous reason, that grunt unfortunately runs right in the way of where I was trying to snipe that elite in the face. And so I send him a present, send these guys a present. Notice how the elite kill, we got the elite kill there. That was kind of nice. Yeah, I guess the beam rifle doesn't actually shoot through the enemies anymore. I thought it did. It used to. I think those guys actually fell off. I think they're dead now, those two elites over there. But the guy with the plasma caster is still alive and presenting as a threat. I'm not sure who died to that plasma caster round, but I know who's going to die to that beam rifle round there. There is a sword elite that is over there. He's at least positioned over there at the beginning, but again, he may have jumped off as opposed to me being able to snipe him in the face. Again, still not sure why the beam rifle didn't go through the grunt's face to that guy, but again, maybe they took that away, or maybe that was never a thing with the beam rifle. I just know it is, or has been, or was with the sniper rifles of Halo's past. They couldn't pass through dead bodies, the bullets, but they could pass through other bodies, so you could get those multi-kills. So let's get rid of the beam rifle. It's pretty much useless now. I mean, usually you use it up and wish you had more, but again, I think a lot of those guys fell off right down there, so anyway, so if you can catch this guy off guard, awesome. That's not normal. Usually he pulls, you know, input reading on you there. And then there's this guy over here. He's the scariest guy right now because he has the same weapon you do, and the enemy uses it pretty well also. I'm looking for the one that guy dropped that was over here, the plasma caster, but apparently he dropped it off the side there. So let's get a nice little shot there on the jackals, get rid of those guys. Notice our teammate idiots are all down, or at least two of them are down at this juncture. So we have a nice little plasma caster off. So I'm just trying to find the best way to get him. Notice there's a turret over there that risks tearing us down pretty fast. So I'm going to just resort to the easier weapon to use, which is the carbine. And I'm going to try to stick a plasma caster bolt right on that turret, at least forcing the elite to move. And notice how we got some nice damage on him there, but he moves to cover, wisely perhaps. Let's see if we can get him out of cover, which is so stupid that didn't work. I guess maybe his shield had already recharged. Is that stupid recharge, short recharge delay since Halo 4. So maybe that's what that was. Alright, so some grunts over here. They're really the only guys left since we've taken out those elites. And so now we get this kind of strange wave of enemies that are coming from a door way across the way. Right now, I'm actually putting 2 plasma caster bolts on a turret over there. And so it's down, which is nice. That'll help us later. A lot of what's coming now are suiciding grunts, shield jackals, and then you have another elite with a plasma caster, and several other, assorted enemies here and there. But they're going to kind of be going through this path here. Not really getting a whole lot of kills right now with this weapon like I would want, so let's just switch to a weapon that's easier to use and more effective. So it looks like we were able to take out much of that force, or they all fell off, I'm not really sure. So grab some caster ammo there. I like to usually come from this side, so I'm going to go kind of double back or backpedal or something here. So now we're starting to face a Jackal Miner that was giving us a little bit of hell. So there he goes. So we had a suiciding grunt that was waiting over there. I hate that they do that. Of course, I hate the fact that they track your position no matter whether they know where you're at or not, but I like to usually come under here whenever I'm done messing around with the groups over there. And look at this. Look at this flanking. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Take those dudes out. I don't know how that guy survives it, but, And then we've got one other guy, I believe, over here that we're going to get from under here. Yeah, there he is right there. Didn't even need the caster there. We could have just headshot him, or maybe even went up and meleeed him if the game would have allowed it. It probably wouldn't have. Don't try that. So, can we find any of that caster ammo that was dropped? Yes, there we go. I think we clambered up onto an area with it. So I'm going to go back again here because I'm not sure what was just shooting at me then. For some reason, it made me think maybe that turret survived because of the way that weapon sounded, but turns out it was not. So just shoot that jackal in the foot, getting him to stumble in a way that makes it easier to headshot him, and then we'll move forward. I don't know what that grunt's purpose is, or I forgot what it is, but he just kind of stands there like a sentinel, but he doesn't do anything. Maybe he has some lines or something if you come up to him at the right angle. I don't know, or stand there watching him for a little bit. I forgot. So if you can snatch that guy, I have no idea ever as to why you can put the circle on him with that and it go like to the side and above his head. I have no idea. I mean, that should stick him unless he moves out of the way, which he didn't, so go figure. But we're going to kick ass with the plasma caster here. Don't you worry. Get those guys that are over there. A couple of grunts and elite. Get that turret. That turret's gone. Very nice to get rid of it. It will chew you apart, of course. Oh, hello. Didn't realize you were right there, sir. Have a ball of plasma on your face. And then it looks like we've got a grunt over here trying to make waves. And as soon as we clear out enough of these initial jackals, elites, and grunts, let's just shoot a regular bolt over there and see if that'll do them in. Now I want to stick this turret over here. Looks like we did not shoot the turret down, but we did get the elite to move, and we de-shielded him enough to get rid of his face. Oh, that stuck his leg. That was awesome. So I'm staying back because I do not want to trigger the next spawn. The next spawn includes an elite with a sword, and he's in camo. So if I'm going to trigger that spawn, which means crossing a line over here, I want to be right here. But I don't want to cross another line or go up to the next level, because if I do, that jackal sniper shows up. So, of course, I do want to do that whenever I'm ready to shoot him. Then you get this elite over here that has the carbine. He likes to come over here, or at least his jackal buddy does. He does not, which is probably smart. But at some point, we're going to have that elite come through with the sword, and I am not paying attention to him at all. And he throws a grenade up here, and I go down, which is fine. We get very fortunate here, so he takes down 2 more of our teammates. So I'm just waiting for him to come around this corner. He does. I stick him. That's not enough to kill the piece of shit. And so now I've got to see what happens next, which is the most random and unskilled way to kill him. Being prepared to stick him in the face, that was skilled. That was good reaction time. That kill was bullshit that I just got lucky on. So just a quick summation of how the gameplay works in Halo 5. Versus, say, previous Halos that were much, much better about those types of encounters. So let's go our ass all the way over here, where there's going to be carbine ammunition, and the dropped beam rifle, and a fresh beam rifle. From here, we can take out some enemies that are skulking around over here. From here, we can take out enemies skulking around over here. Just doesn't... I shot him off of the thing there. That was kind of funny. That elite was definitely tempting fate. Now he's in some sort of weird position. I don't know why he fell like that. Maybe he's on that ramp in a way that I just can't tell. It looks to me like he's standing up there. And of course but slumped over. And his grunt piece of crap takes cover behind him. Probably inadvertently, but nonetheless. Can't shoot through the body. You can run through the body and walk through the body, but you can't shoot through it. So I guess it is the perfect cover. Kudos to you. And we finally knocked that body over. So where's that plasma caster? I want to take the beam rifle and it with me. We won't be needing the... we shouldn't need the carbine any longer. But as it turns out, there's this guy left over. And I honestly, truly didn't know how I wanted to kill him. Like, for a second there, I'm like, well, I don't want to use the plasma caster. I'm saving that for the hunters. And, well, the beam rifle I kind of like for the hunters, too. But, yeah, I'll just use the beam rifle. I just, they usually flow over to the right where I was at shooting. So, I guess I left a couple alive. So, I'm not really sure why it is that I get a red X there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can kill those guys before they spawn. And it looks like maybe the game thought I did there. I'm not really sure, but nothing happened. That red X meant nothing. This hunter is being a hell of a lot more aggressive than normal. He does not usually get up this close and personal this fast, which kind of throws off my rhythm for using the plasma caster. The goal, of course, is to shoot it next to him and not let him swat it away. The hunters can now swat away many power weapons that you could use against them, including the grenades. The only power weapon I'm aware of that I can think of right off the top of my head that he won't swat away is the fuel rod, which we're going to inundate him with in just a little bit. That literally bounced off his worms, so that sucks. I'm telling you, man, I truly don't think they play tested this game with people that, you know, enjoy playing Halo in the campaign. I have no idea why in the world they did this to hunters. They just made them complete and utter bullet sponges that I have to stand back here behind cover like I'm fighting a tank, mono-e-tank-o in Call of Duty or something. It just sucks. This is the most unfun piece of crap way to play, to have to fight a tank. And since now he's in his crazy mode, he's got unlimited firing with his stupid-ass tracking machine gun garbage that he's never had before. I know that went from like normal to salty really fast, but I can't stand when those pieces of shit make those types of decisions with the gameplay. And there we go, we get some grunts through the door with a stick there. But I can't stand the fact I can't stand them coming along and thinking that they have the creative right or license to make these kind of changes. And we just accept them and we'll just be okay with them. I can't stand it. It just makes my skin crawl. So this is a comedy of errors here. So I'm wanting to give one of them a beam rifle. And at the same time, I want to give it to somebody who has not the fuel rod. So I accidentally, I think, dropped the plasma caster here at some point in trying to make this handoff. Yep. I do not want her to grab that. I want that for me. So I can't grab it in time. So now I've got to go back and switch her back to her old weapon. Hopefully the plasma caster does not fall through the floor. Now I want to give her the beam rifle. So, Vale, you've proven you can take a weapon. Now take that beam rifle for me. Oh, God, it disappeared right before you could take it. Just great. Just great. But it really doesn't matter. Like, they won't... It does not matter what the hell you give them. They rarely ever use a good weapon. And so it's unimportant. It's don't worry about it if that happens. So here you're just going to run through this place here. I actually like this, these set pieces, everything falling apart. If you stand there long enough, then one of the cruisers actually crashes down. I think it's a cruiser. Maybe I'm wrong and it's just a phantom, but one of the cruisers actually crashes down and kills you. I mean, you have to stand there for a while for that to occur, but you can see the cruiser like looming over the distance and it just continues to crash and fall. It's actually pretty cool. So there's actually more ammunition for the caster right next to the statue we're about to pass. So it has, I believe, 10 shots in it, or 15 shots in it. So if you get all the way down to 0, 5 shots and 0 in the chamber with the caster facing off against the hunters, you still can fill the caster up. And the caster is placed there for a reason, especially for us guys and gals who play this game on legendary difficulty like morons. So we're pretty much going to spend most of our time up here on this ledge. The crawlers don't come up here. The soldiers don't phase up here. You are certainly vulnerable to attacks up here, but that's about it. And so we're going to spend most of our time, in fact all of our time, on this ledge in one place or another. And you'll see that as we move along here. So the main goal here is to take out the watchers, and then you want to take out the soldiers. We're just kind of horsing around now. Eventually his armor will break because, they didn't want to make them complete and utter damage sponges. I don't know. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, look how stupid that is. You hit him like 25 times and finally his armor breaks. I mean, what pile of garbage built those stupid soldiers. So there's a beam rifle right here. We might want to use it later. Pull it away from that energy box. Shoot the energy box because it will blow up at the wrong time. And what you're waiting to do here is wear down these enemies until a large spawn of them show up in the kind of middle foreground or background back there. And there they come. As soon as they come, you want to start shooting overcharged caster shots at this group. Don't expect to get a lot of kills early and expect that shit to happen every time you poke your head over because, again, computer AI reading inputs, they have no shame about that shit in Halo 5. Or even previous Halos, but boy, in Halo 5, it's there's just no shame about it at all. They're just standing there like the obstacles they are. They're not interesting, they're not fun, they're not cool or scary, they're just obstacles in your way at this juncture. And so now I'm going to look for guys who are weak enough for headshots. I've landed a couple of them. Let's soften them up a little bit more. We actually kill a guy outright with that weapon, which is nice. The Arbiter is invincible. He will do a great job of taking out the crawlers and enemies over here, but ultimately it doesn't matter. The crawlers keep spawning over and over and over again. It's the soldiers you keep killing to the point where eventually you get another wave of soldiers that includes captains with turrets, and then after that wave, and you take out enough of those guys, then you get the Warden with some knights. And he may spawn with a soldier or two or something, but really doesn't matter. And notice how we have an infinite ammo box for the carbine here, so we can use our headshot weapon in perpetuity the more and more we weaken these guys or catch them unawares. So, more caster, perhaps? Or are we still going to... there is a turret guy that's here initially, but he usually stands over there to the right somewhere and isn't really that big of a threat unless he decides to get silly and move around a lot, which sometimes he will. Right now I think he's pretty weak because I think I damn near stuck him if I didn't stick him with that plasma caster overcharge shot. So there's another guy who's ready for the headshot. We just gun that guy down where he stands. Now we've got the final wave before the Warden wave that's in. And so the problem with the turret guys is they can cross-map you, and they have extremely good accuracy, of course. So, but they are slow of foot. Credit where credit's due. That is their weakness. You can sometimes wear them down pretty easily from here, but to be honest with you, this is where you may want to get ready to use the beam rifle and see how that works against these captains with the turrets. Of course, the game's not going to reward you with the skill of bringing it here, or making sure that you kept it here. Snipers suck now. You know, it's just completely and utterly useless, except for as a long-range, slightly more powerful weapon that runs out of ammo pretty fast. That's not the best description, of course, but actually it is the best description. It's just not the best sounding description. But that is really the best description for it. Again, long range, that's the only reason I like it. It's just a little more accurate because of the scope. 4 shots to the face, and he's still alive. Can you imagine if that was the case in any other Halo with enemies of that ilk? So actually, I forgot about this. We do come down here to get ready for this Warden battle. So I thought that was it, and I was incorrect. So we still have a couple more enemies to kill before the Warden's going to show up. Just killing that guy so he doesn't continually harass me. Is this it? There we go. So now it's time to take the fuel rod you found in that case and take the incinerator cannon we found laying over there behind us where we are now and just kick the crap out of this guy. Get in this corner for the tracking stupid balls and really, really try to make sure that you shoot at him whenever that watcher starts to get close. The one imperfection with this strategy is whatever the stupid fuck is shooting me right now, and if a knight shoots the incinerator cannon over here, since it tracks, because the developers had no better ideas of how to defeat you. I think we've heard him like 4 times now, or this will be maybe 4 here. That may even be 5, so he's whittling down pretty fast, actually. We're doing a pretty good job here, but he shot another goofy, stupid tracking ball, and the disadvantage of being over here, other than what I talked about with the Knights, is, well, I guess it's kind of the same concept. There's really nowhere else to go, and your teammates can't find you up here and help you. But we take him out before any Knights got wind of us. Hell, I didn't even see a Knight. I'm sure they're down there somewhere, but they got occupied with the Arbiter, it looks like, and we are done. So again, despite my gripes about the gameplay, this is really, truly a top-notch mission. Very enjoyable to play, beautiful, gorgeous, has a really good opening cutscene. It doesn't mean as much because there's really no lead-up to it to make it mean much. You can just kind of hope it means something, but otherwise, pretty well done. Just really, again... Halo 5 is what it is, but it does have some bright spots, and Battle of Sunaion is one of them. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Use the comments section to talk however much you want and however much you like about this level or about this series, about the game, about life, whatever you choose to do. Just be respectful. People have been respectful in my comment section. It's awesome. I love you guys. And I do love you, but I must leave you. This is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.